Simon Cowell, the guy whose talent shows were revolutionized and whose innumerable careers were launched by his steely glare, biting remarks, and keen humor, is renowned for all three. His biography is one of personal hardships, grief, and heartbreak, despite his strong appearance. The road from obscurity to stardom has been anything but smooth for Simon, who endured rejection and dropped out of school at an early age. In this video, we take a look at how Simon Cowell was impacted by devastating catastrophes, the obstacles that almost shattered him, and the struggles he endured behind the scenes. Simon Cowell's hidden side will be revealed soon. Simon Philip Cowell was born into a prominent artistic and business family in London, England on October 7, 1959. Julie Brett was a socialite and former ballet dancer. Her father, Eric Philip Cowell, was a developer for state agents and an executive in the music industry. While Simon did attend Dover College, he dropped out at the age of 16 due to his lack of focus, which manifested itself in a series of job hopping and even interview sabotage attempts orchestrated by his father. Cowell got his start at EMI Music Publishing in the mailroom. He worked his way up to scout and assistant to an 8A NDR man by the spring of 1979. Throughout the most of the 80s, he was an employee of ENS Music, reporting to Ellis Rich. It did, however, release a handful of successful singles prior to the mutual consent termination of Cowell's contract. He co-founded Fanfare Records with Carrie Baker in 1985. The label was successful for a while but eventually shut down in 1989, in part because of a legal dispute with 8A and DM Records. Harris found himself in a very precarious financial position as a result. Along with his parents, he had to return home. However, this did not deter Cowell. He was promoted to the role of consultant at BMG Records that same year. As a result, he signed a slew of great bands, including 70 singles that peaked at number 1 on US and UK charts and over 150 million records sold. For Simon Cowell, the breakthrough came with Sunita's So Macho, which proved he could predict which songs would sell best. Cowell began to carve out a niche for himself in the music industry while he was a member of the pop-renowned production team Stock Aitken Waterman. But just when fame and fortune were on the horizon, Fanfare Records ran into money problems. In a shocking turn of events, Fanfare's assets were frozen by Pete Waterman, a creditor and pivotal figure in Stock Aitken Waterman, when the company went down in 1989. They went so far as to seize Cowell's Porsche as payment for outstanding costs. Cowell learned his business lesson the hard way when he came dangerously close to bankruptcy. As a result, they were let go from their position. Yet, rather than giving up, Cowell got a job as a consultant for artists and repertoire at BMG. Around this time, he set up S Records at BMG and began producing acts like the Power Rangers, Zig and Zag, and the World Wrestling Federation, among others, for their novelty albums. WWF, now WWE, which increased the company's visibility and brought in money. An iconic event occurred in 1995 when Cowell convinced Robson Green and Jerome Flynn, who were actors in the TV series Soldier, to sing Unchained Melody during a scene. The song was Cowell's first million-dollar single, and it spent 7 weeks atop the UK singles chart. It was the best-selling single of 1995. The result was a slew of new bands and businesses, such as the Westlife and the Teletubbies, brought to life by Cowell's talent discovery process. His career took off in 2001, and he soon found himself judging Pop Idol, where he was known for being frank. As a result of his accomplishment, he was cast on American Idol in 2002, where his new approach was showcased to the audience. Psycho was founded by Cowell in 2005. That include the visual arts, television, and cinema. His other projects, such as Devo, a lavish vocal combo that slithered between operatic pop, classic pop, and neoclassical music, were all launched via Psycho. After American Idol ended in 2004, Cowell went on to create Got Talent and X Factor, which, according to the Guinness World Record from 2014, are the most successful reality show formats with more than 68 nations. Despite Simon Cowell's current success as a music entrepreneur, he has had a relatively trouble-free personal life. How much has his fame and money actually cost him? Simon Cowell's personal life gets quite dramatic and emotional despite all these success stories, and he becomes the object of criticism. In 2002, Cowell began dating English television host Terry Seymour, and the couple dated for a total of 6 years, ending in 2008. Additionally, he was engaged to makeup artist Mesjan Hussey from 2010 until 2011. Cowell started having an affair with Lauren Silverman, who was married to Andrew Silverman, a close friend of his, in the latter half of 2013. When Andrew filed for a divorce in June, citing adultery as the reason, and named Cowell as a correspondent, this became clear. When word got out that Lauren was expecting Cowell, things got even more heated. Cowell was released from any potential testimony in the divorce court when the Silvermans resolved their divorce in August of that year. Eric was born to Cowell and Lauren in February 2014, and the couple are engaged in January 2022. Cowell has been forthright about his political leanings, aside from his family problems. This is supported by the following quote. Even though he admitted in 2013 that he was never a voter, he nevertheless supported David Cameron for Prime Minister in 2010. During the Brexit campaign in June 2016, Cowell was one of many British celebrities who argued for Britain to keep its membership in the EU. After health scare-stricken music mogul Simon Cowell decided to be vegan in 2019, health and lifestyle modifications became more visible. The Sunday Times of the United Kingdom named Cowell among the finest billionaires due to his background in business and talent selection abilities. According to estimates, his net worth will reach approximately $600 million by the year 2024. After starting as an affair, what are your feelings on Simon Cowell and Lauren Silverman's relationship? Both personally and professionally, Simon Cowell has had his fair share of challenges throughout the years. August 8, 2020 was the date of the most disastrous occurrence. While experimenting with an electric motorbike at his Malibu residence, the celebrity recently suffered serious injuries. During the test, he hurt his back. This accident proved that even the strongest fitness fanatic may be hurt. A nighttime operation was necessary to treat the seriousness of the wound. During his time in recovery, Cowell made numerous adjustments to his way of living. However, the most important was his return to supplementing his diet with animal products in order to gain muscle. This is a departure from his prior, primarily plant-based approach, and it shows how his injury affected other parts of his life. Cowell revealed in an appearance for the Today Show that he had never imagined he could be that unfit before the accident, which brought back terrible memories of his recovery. His humility shone through, and word of his struggles during this time spread widely. Additionally, his professional responsibilities were severely affected by the catastrophe. Ashley Banjo succeeded Cowell as a judge on Britain's Got Talent in 2020, preventing him from participating. One other thing that made the series stand out was that Cowell wasn't on it, suggesting that injury and workforce flexibility have an impact. Cowell admitted that the lockdown period, which occurred at the same time as his rehabilitation, allowed him the opportunity to recuperate, even though his injuries necessitated a leave of absence from work. Although he knew he was fortunate to have survived the operation, he was extremely appreciative of the help he received as he walked often and concentrated on strengthening his legs. But getting well wasn't easy for Cowell. He came clean later on about how the initial incident had left him with permanent nerve damage that made even simple things like kicking a football with his son Eric a living nightmare. After giving it some thought, he conceded that the injury's effects were significantly more severe than what was widely known. The strength and flexibility that Cowell displayed in the face of these persistent obstacles shed light on the arduous road to rehabilitation. Cowell had another accident in London in 2022, which made his recovery even more difficult. The devastating effects of a catastrophic injury on one's personal and professional life are illustrated by his experiences. His strength in overcoming setbacks is demonstrated by his capacity to remain resilient and thoughtful throughout the process. There has been no shortage of difficulty on Simon Cowell's path to his incredible recovery and subsequent career comebacks. Along with his hardships, Cowell has been the target of major scandals and legal disputes, all of which have contributed to the formation of his public image. Many of Simon Cowell's competition show participants have been at the center of scandals and legal disputes in recent years. Suits and public censure have frequently resulted from these problems, which have frequently included allegations of behind-the-scenes maltreatment and unethical behavior. Notable litigation occurred in 2022 when 6 ex-contestants sued Cowell's firm, Psycho Entertainment, with a combined demand of $1 million, or about $1.2 million. The show was accused of bullying, maltreatment, and neglect, bringing attention to the negative aspect of reality TV where unhealthy settings can be fostered by the pressure of competition. Participating on the show had a detrimental impact on one contestant's emotional well-being for years, as they recently revealed. The X Factor participant Katie Weisel's desire to sue Cowell and Psycho Entertainment in 2023 is another noteworthy instance. Weisel blamed Cowell and the show for ruining her life after she learned she could sue over her rejection from the show and had also become a lawyer to do the same. People were so critical of her on the X Factor that she was named Most Hated Performer by some. Threats were made on social media, and people's situations deteriorated to the point that they experienced panic attacks and suicidal thoughts. He went on to say that Zell's recovery from post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, took years and that the trauma he experienced as a result of the program lingered long after it had ended. Katie Weisel went on to earn a legal degree in order to seek justice and stand up for herself. She did this in large part due to the unfair treatment she endured on The X Factor. The Times reports that her decision was influenced by her will to face the pain she had endured. Leaving her role as a reality TV competitor behind, Wiesel became a certified lawyer in July after finishing her studies. At 38 years of age, she has resolved to devote herself fully to a legal dispute with X Factor creators Psycho Entertainment. The basis of her complaint is the absence of a duty of care, particularly in terms of offering the vulnerable participants sufficient psychological and bodily safety. There are larger issues that women in the entertainment industry face, and Wiesel's legal action is about more than just winning for herself. She plans to put her legal training to use by assisting the reality show contestants who are put in dangerous situations. She may have taken the first step towards significant reforms in reality show production and contestant support systems with her legal case against Psycho Entertainment. In addition to recognizing the music business's complicity in Wiesel's creation and exploitation, this legal action gives Wiesel a chance to reclaim her story and advocate for change in the industry. Will reality television be significantly altered as a result of her claims? After skipping a few auditions for Britain's Got Talent earlier this year, Simon Cowell addressed speculations regarding his health. Whispers about a possible mystery sickness began to circulate when he was conspicuously absent from a couple of auditions. In his trademark gray jumper and tinted spectacles, Cowell appeared on the judging panel in an Instagram snap that he later cleared. He took to Instagram and captioned the photo with an affront to the rumors. "According to what I've read online, I've been diagnosed with a mysterious sickness. I had 2 auditions in the span of one day 2 weeks ago, but I had to skip the second one since I suffer from migraines after being under the lights all day." He was forthright about the fact that he had been suffering from migraines, which are a frequent problem that can be brought on by stressful situations and lengthy periods of exposure to bright lights. Many people related to this level of openness since it highlighted the fact that those beloved celebrities also experience latent suffering. Extreme headache, nausea, vomiting, and light sensitivity are some of the symptoms of a migraine, making it impossible to carry out daily tasks. Along with other symptoms that would hinder Cowell's ability to continue filming on those particular days. Fans have long worried about Cowell's physical fitness, given his hectic lifestyle and heavy workload, since he is now 64 years old. He reassured his listeners that he was fine and just needed to take pauses every so often. There was no major health problem, he said. Additionally, in June of 2024, Cowell discussed a very trying time in his life, characterized by a decline into misery following the deaths of his parents, who had been his rock and closest confidants. Cowell and the boy band Westlife, whom he managed, achieved a great career milestone at the same time as they were grieving. When the band's first single, Swear It Again, peaked at number 1, it was a huge deal. Sadly, though, the band's success was not without its twist. Before he could find out about the band's success story, Cowell's father, Eric Cowell, passed away from a heart attack. The timing of the wonderful news about Westlife, coupled with the devastating loss of his father, made it even more heartbreaking. One touching event that Cowell remembers was when he contacted his mom, Julie Cowell, from Germany, to tell her about Westlife's number 1 record. He skipped the opening of the call altogether. And a gut feeling informed him that something was amiss. Cowell recalled that when the tears welled up in her throat, she could sense that something was wrong. When he heard that his father had died, his gut feeling was right. Cowell discussed the bittersweet nature of the event in a recent interview with Stephen Bartlett on the Diary of a CEO podcast. He commented on how his personal sadness and business accomplishment collided. He confessed that the unexpected death of his parents was a devastating blow because he had always thought they would be around indefinitely. Cowell conveyed profound sorrow, saying that he would have given up all his professional success to be with his father that same second. Cowell gushed over his father-son bond and recalled the one time they had a quarrel with fondness. He said that he had come to appreciate his father more after this unusual conflict. Cowell continued by saying that he never wanted to infuriate his father and that he always maintained his affection for him, even though he had seen his father go into a frenzy. The loss of both of his parents had a profound impact on his life and career, and he reflected on very personal thoughts about this. In terms of the intensity of loss, the comments made by Cowell mirror his melancholy sentiments and how they connect to his art. For example, Cowell mentioned that his father never physically abused him when he was a child. "A big explosion happened to the older man once. As a result of this event, Cowell will never forget how obvious his father's anger was. Cowell understood the authority and presence of his father from that one unusual incidence of harshness." While discussing the fallout from his father's passing, Cowell admitted that he had experienced profound grief. Despite the physical distance between them, Cowell claims that his faith and confidence in God allow him to have imaginary conversations with his father even now. As a result, despite his obvious loss, he found solace in the knowledge that his father was not physically present. Cowell made light of the situation at first, but as he thought back on the time his father was trying to help someone cope with the loss of a parent, he became emotional. Along with the fact that nobody else can ever fill the void that this kind of death leaves behind. Remarkably, Cowell started talking about his mother, Julie Cowell, who passed away 16 years after his father, while still covering the topic of sorrow. His emotional issues became even more severe after their death, sending him into what he described as a dreadful downward spiral. After his mother passed away, Cowell felt he had no reason to live. Because of this, he attributed significance to all things materialistic by saying they were meaningless. What was more important to him at that point? Achieving material success. He was reflecting on his own bereavement. Additionally, he detailed the ways in which his job and his grieving process got intertwined. Cowell admitted he wasn't thrilled with his work during those days, despite working late into the night to get everything done. Even though he hated his job, he did it as a way to escape and ignore the anguish he felt at the loss of his parents. I learned that losing a loved one can alter one's outlook on life after 2 years of feeling down and frustrated with job and my own mortality. Many of Simon Cowell's admirers have long wondered if he has undergone plastic surgery to alter his look. Although Cowell has admitted to getting his appearance adjusted here and there, he has been quite forthright about the fact that he has not had extensive plastic surgery. Although he has always disputed claims of more drastic treatments, he was one of the first male TV personalities to publicly admit to using fillers and Botox. "For what it's worth, I think it's hilarious," Cowell said once. "All it does is make me chuckle. I am not a victim of plastic surgery. A little Botox here and there hasn't hurt me. So, to be completely honest, I do find it funny when I hear about these rumors. Others have told me I've done it all, but I don't look up anything about myself online, so I have no idea what others think of me until we do stuff like Biggest Loser." But Cowell revealed in 2018 that he had the 21st century facelift, a procedure that cost £2,000. The silhouette soft lift is another technique that many famous people have done. It involves inserting a thread made of bioplastic into the neck and face region, and then pulling the thread taut to elevate the skin that has sagged. "Clear skin is all that matters to me right now," as Cowell mentioned back then. Your appearance will improve with clean skin, but use caution while applying some of these products. The X Factor and American Idol, two of Cowell's reality shows, essentially changed the face of television. We can learn a lot about the importance of innovation and the power of adapting to changing trends and audience preferences from his ability to recognize talent and establish platforms that transform the entertainment industry.